Now we need to find f inverse x given this extra condition, x is less than or equal to -7, and you'll see in just a few minutes why that's important. So we start the same way as we usually find the inverse. Step 1 is to write the equation as y equals f of x. So I'm going to start with rewriting this as y equals x plus 7 the whole squared. Step 2, as usual, is to swap the places of x and y. So I'm going to write x in place of y and y in place of x. So I have x equals y plus 7 the whole squared. Step 3, which is the most important step, is to solve this equation for y. Okay, now in order to do this, you'll see that the y is trapped in here. So in order to solve the equation, I need to get rid of this squared first. How do I get rid of square? By taking square root on both the sides of the equation. Now if y plus 7 the whole square equals x, this could mean one of two things. It means that when I take the square root, y plus 7 could equal plus or minus the square root of x, and I don't know which one this is. So I'm going to rewrite this equation as two things. One is that y plus 7 equals the positive square root of x, or y plus 7 equals the negative square root of x. Now you can already see that having two different options for y is a problem, because y can only be one of these. Otherwise, it's not going to be a function if you have two different values for y. So, well, firstly, let me solve this a little bit more. I'm going to take the 7 over to the other side by subtracting 7 from both the sides of the equation. So I get y equals either the square root of x minus 7, or I get y equals the negative square root of x minus 7. Now, going back to the condition that we had a special condition which is x is less than or equal to -7. Now what happens is, remember how in this step we swapped the values of x and y? So when you swap the value of x and y, this also happens to the condition that now you have y is less than or equal to -7. So let's come back to what we have over here. We have two possible values of y. Y is the square root of x minus 7, or y is the negative square root of x minus 7. But remember that you need y to be less than or equal to -7. Now, considering that the square root of x is always a positive quantity, if I take -7 and if I add square root of x to it, this is obviously, in this case, y is going to be a number that's greater than or equal to -7. Whereas in this case, you have y being less than or equal to -7 because you're subtracting the square root of x from -7, which means that you cannot accept this part of the answer, but in fact you will accept this part since it satisfies the condition that you had. So f inverse x is rightly going to be equal to the second part that you worked out, and this is also step 4, rewriting this as f inverse x, negative square root of x minus 7. Now, what is the domain of f inverse x? The domain of f inverse x is going to be all the acceptable values for x, and the only thing that you need to concern yourself with is that there's a square root of x involved. Whenever you take the square root of a real number, if you want to get the answer as a real number, you have to make sure that the number inside the square root is greater than or equal to 0, or that it's not negative. So the domain of f of x will only admit all values of x that are greater than or equal to 0, which means it's going to be everything from 0 to infinity. Infinity excluded, of course, because that's how we always write it. And at 0, we have a square bracket because we include 0.